employer.
Well, hi there. It's me, your favorite player. I don't... Player? Shit. This has got to be right here. You can't fucking hear me, can you? But now you can. Shit. This has got to be right here. You can't fucking hear me, can you? But now you can. I'm just gonna check my stream. On my phone. Just gonna check my stream. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, we are playing Danganronpa. We're up to the 3rd trial. And we're gonna get it fucking done. That's what we're gonna do. We're going to finish it. I haven't even loaded up the game yet. I just was like, I want to get this done. Have a bit of fun. And then shoot a gun. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Alright. Let's launch this baby up. The Danganronpa.
Danganronpa.
I don't know why the settings don't save every time I load in. It's a bit dumb in my opinion. Fucking hell. Oh, there we go. Okay. Alright, we're in. Chapter 3, pre-trial, yes. Let's get straight into it, guys. Let's fucking do this. Alright, what skills? We got 17 skill points. Not bad. Extraordinary focus. Increase the focus gauge by 2. Effective during the class trial, cost 2 points. Algorithm. Increase the speed of memorizing a statement. Effective during the non-stop debates. That's when you have to grab a statement. Increase damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. Effective during the bullet time battles. Cost 2 points. And then trance. Even low combos will increase the tempo. Effective during the bullet time battles. Cost 4 SP. Yeah, we're getting... Yeah, I just don't remember the controls for some things.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial.
Let's do it.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive, and I'll punish everyone besides. Now then,
We know
to
the
begin
gist.
with,
We already know who did it.
was that?
Are
It
that?
was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Like when the screen shakes.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you?
Who are you calling a murderer? Why does it feel like extra loud for some reason? Okay.
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, I don't know!
Is he really the killer, or before anything else, we have to make that clear? Yeah, he's the killer, guys. That's it. Rubber Justice, here's message, blueprints. It would
Everything we
probably
found
be...
in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Evidence that Hero is the killer. Is that really true? Okay.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hero,
Oh,
why? Why did you kill them?
No. Just hold on a second.
Robo Justice blueprints. Fuck. This is why I'm a bit stupid sometimes. Like, sometimes that's just really vague.
In your room.
We found it in your room.
The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
I wish I could speed this
Hero,
up.
why?
Don't know why it
Why
won't
did
let
you
me.
kill them?
No. Just hold on a second.
Okay.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints,
The suit parts, they are all proof enough.
Yeah, I didn't think so. The meaningless words, so please waste my time. Yeah, I'm playing on main as well, so I need to make sure I'm actually getting this right. Then think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction in that
everything
statement.
we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. Different handwriting. Yeah, that was my first thought, but I didn't think it was that early in the case. We're gonna talk about that.
Made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a bit dumb like that
Alter Ego
sometimes.
dispute.
Like you've seen the other two
The
trials.
handwriting's obviously different. When you compare it to the blueprints,
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hero's innocent as well.
what?
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Of course, it buzzed me. Yeah, fuck. You
Who
suck.
was in the Robo-Justice suit?
Well, it was Yasuhiro.
I got it! Other than Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hero is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hero was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must
Alice?
clarify the method of transportation for
Oh.
Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Oh, yeah. So just to me talk about it. Oh my god. I got it! There's still one more thing. The top. I got it!
They were a dolly and
Dolly?
a tarp, right?
Tarp. Yes, sir. Oh.
So, let's see if I can explain.
Yeah, X hates when I'm fucking good at my job. I'm better than him, dude. I'm better than
Taka's body
Byakuya.
disappeared from the equipment room. And then we
But I don't know about
rediscovered it in
Kyoko.
the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right?
It's alright.
It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is
Bro,
no
how do you
shame
respond,
in
bro?
being
You gotta be
wrong.
helping us out here.
Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all
Okay.
accepted the fact that
We'll
you
see
rarely
about that,
understand what is
Celeste.
going on around you.
We'll see about that. Oh, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean, but maybe I can change her mind. Explain them the dolly must be moved from the equipment room to the repository. The other one has been added to the bullet time battles. Oh, wait. Yeah. Talk about reloading. Starting with the next bullet time battle, we're gonna add one more integral to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements, but from now on, just locking on the present left mouse button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the tab key. Just like locking on, you'll press the tab key in time with the tempo. Basically, just remember that the tab key now is function along with the right mouse button, left mouse button. You automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. Alright, but if your actions difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to roll it. Dude, imagine playing on gentle though. Fucking hell, that'd be so bad. This is it's just, well, I think it's just like about story being on gentle. Alright.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst.
Fuck.
You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool.
Dude, when it goes to negative, it's fucking hard.
I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Bro, I lost all my health there. What the fuck? This is... Dude, when it's on that negative, it's actually hard because it's so hard to time it. You don't... Unless you saw it before, you can't tell.
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it.
And plus, you do that at the end of the game anyway,
There
so
was
it's usually
a
not that
pool
bad
of
if I
blood
lose a
in
lot of
the
health.
equipment room with
At the
the
end of the
tire
trial.
mark in it that matched the
First
dolly's
shot,
wheel's
that's
tread.
fucked.
The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Well,
Doesn't hit me that much.
anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Transport could be done. Can't bend at the waist.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Yep.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp,
Yep.
then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it
Yep.
off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is
Bend over.
No, that's wrong.
That is completely false.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
Was better. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Not to mention, you can't bend at the waist, dude.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
So let's take the suit because here is not sure enough.
I got it!
Oh,
I
got
don't
half
think
health. Let's
taking
go.
off the suit was an option. If you remember,
What's up with this? But I totally can't take it off. No across the back.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
Get hurt. Go hit me. Go. Robo Justice. What decided to call him just now?
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond
It is a pretty
question.
obvious case, isn't it? It's a
The
great
individual inside the
case,
suit and the
but it is
culprit
very
are
obvious.
one
It's
and
probably
the
one of the
same.
most obvious
It
ones
was
out there.
Hero,
That and the
without
first,
a
this
doubt.
first case.
Yeah.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a
This chair
while,
fucking
but nobody
sucks.
else showed up. So we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
Just so...
When Celeste told us
It's just
that,
too obvious.
we
Like, you
decided
know,
to
like,
split up and search the
as soon as you
second
know
floor.
it's like, it's just...
And soon after that,
Even I think first time
I
playing
saw
it, I
someone
remember I
moving
was
around
like,
on the third floor,
oh, yeah,
and I yelled
no
out
shit.
to everyone as soon as I did.
Like, the events are good, that plays out, and I think it's definitely the best double murder case in any of the games. Just how it's laid out, but it's just so obvious. Like, it's just incredibly obvious of who it is, and just from seeing, like, it's I think that's the only unfortunate thing about it. And it's probably one of my more favourite cases. I'd say the second one is probably my favourite case, but this one is probably more, this is more fun because it's more convoluted. But just because it's convoluted doesn't make it hard. Or at least, not obvious.
and then at that point, we decided to divide up into two groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the third floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time. Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising. We rushed
Whose
back to
body
the nurse's
disappeared?
office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered
Son.
we'd left Toko passed out
Check
in
some
the
messages.
equipment room, so we hurried
Yep.
back again.
This can't be happening.
But when we
if I
got
do it.
there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Push it in between the Taka. Alright, done. Alright, let's do it.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the
Justice hammers.
What? Oh.
Shoot!
I want how hard you'll be joking.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
I might have to fucking die here, guys.
So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the... No.
Shoot!
Shoot. But I'm a main, so does that start the entire trial? I forget. Like, it's just like, yep, you're just voted the killer. Alright, I know it works. I forgot it is in the back end.
I refuse to give up yet.
Let's go. Give me my hearts back. So this game's easy. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, it's none of those.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice.
No, that's wrong.
That's what I was gonna do, but I was like, it just doesn't seem right, you know? Like, how?
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
So I'm gonna get fucked over in
If
Danganronpa
anything,
2.
that's just
'Cause
another
this game's
way
easy,
the killer tried
and
to
I'm losing.
disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Just kill before. Right, so, oh yeah. Oh, there's something. Wrist watch. I think is what it is. That's not what I meant to click. There's lots of
Now
heart
I
there for fucking
understand.
accidentally. I clicked it once though. I thought I had to click it like 50 times. Fuck's
I've
sake.
got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer, because as of last night,
It's 10 o'clock.
so if it wasn't
That's right.
broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
That's right. I guess another thing is, why didn't they just kill Taka? Oh, well. I understand why, from the point of view of the killer, but yeah.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body, because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides,
right.
they didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said, his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of
But I
time?
gotta finish this case. I said I was gonna do it.
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another
This guy and his ghost, dude.
ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Still alive. Is it really possible? Oh, it's possible.
Are you...
Fuck is equipment room bloodstone? Oh, that. Or Celeste account?
There's a chance he was actually still
alive.
No,
Still
it
alive.
is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And
Yep.
that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Well, yeah. But the body discovery announcement was only made once that...
Are you saying that when we
Okay, I have to
first
grab a
found
statement.
Hifumi in the
None of these
nurse's
make sense.
office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
I don't know.
Shoot!
Alright.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
I've been
And you
tired
know
of
that
so I'm
how?
fucking this up. Is it? It's definitely not. Fast forward, here we go. Oh my god, it's control.
Hifumi's dead, and that is. Are we real? Maybe
The announcement was intended to signal
No, no, no,
someone
I didn't-
else's
Discovery.
Thank god. Fuck me, I just grabbed that. I mean the click, I meant to hold it down.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance you? No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body. Hifumi.
His dead body had been... No, that's
No,
wrong.
that's wrong. No, that's wrong. That's wrong,
Was the
dude.
body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail, but what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice. I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us.
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. there's one other thing that leads me
Right.
to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
Well, that's fine. I know exactly what it was.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found him, and then, well, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, that's wrong.
Sorry, Celeste, I'm just fucking you up right now.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood.
Mm-hmm.
But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it! It was a
Oh, yeah, we
glasses
got it.
cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly
What a
doubt
title.
anyone but Hifumi
What a title of an
brought
anime.
something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible.
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it...
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained.
We're good.
It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's...
Shoot!
Oh. That's what I took off Taka's lifeless body.
I got it! You're
Yeah,
talking
okay.
about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
Oh, that Hifumi
That's
took off
right.
his body.
We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay,
Yes, his
well,
pants.
forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Oh, maybe so.
Ah, that's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been... I got it!
Taka.
That's right! Taka!
Don't know why I had to read them all.
The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy! Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi. Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
I don't know, man. Just that it's really scary, but still, I can't let it get to me. Can't let it get to Moyu. Oh, we got 5.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, that's wrong!
Completely wrong.
No! There absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said
What the hell are
to
you
meet at
talking about?
6 a.m.,
Bit
which
of
is the
sus there.
same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Now we can show this.
I got it! When I
There we
searched
go.
Taka's body,
Back to 4.
I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry.
Bro, Webbing's
no.
absolutely dumb.
When we
Like, he was
found him
always
in the
dumb, but
repository,
since this
Hifumi
case, like,
was
after this case, he
truly
gets
and
just even more
completely dead.
stupid.
The second
Like, it's
body
just-
discovery
it's
announcement
crazy.
proves that.
They make him super dumb for this case, and then later onwards.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus. Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3
Same.
and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
Bro, it was in the
I'm
repository.
surprised.
That's where the
It
hammers came
seems
from.
There's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours.
How's that
after all.
brain? Bro, it's a repository. They're gonna have
Hell
fucking
yeah,
hammers.
It's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though.
It's probably smooth
I
as
don't
fuck.
understand it either.
Smooth brain,
The
bro.
Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Oh, we'll find the truth, alright.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was,
There's one. How was the culprit?
how did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about. Check out murdergear.com.
Well, what? The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
Hell no.
It's wrong. The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository.
Yeah, no
Check
shit.
Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, That would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
Work together. But alright.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is
Simply impossible that two people work
together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Not possible two murders.
Based on the rules that even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming
the rule holds true.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Since there
I'm
were
getting
two
fucking
murders,
tired.
it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward, but
Risk versus reward benefit?
the payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
This is 2 minutes per se. Look at this as a series of common events, but entirely separate incidents. It's almost unnatural.
I understand how an accomplice could be
It
involved.
might be
but
so
then
that
who was
she's
the one
an alternate
pulling
or something.
Hifumi's string?
Something that deals with,
That's problem numero uno
you know,
right now.
investigating murders. True killer manipulated him to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. And that debate is up to there. There's really only one person supposed to feel. So obvious, dude. It's and they fucking like I'm only only an hour, less than hours of this case, and they've already revealed the killer. That's how obvious
Here's
it
my
is.
answer. It was Celeste.
Celeste.
So I'm the
So it's
suspicious
just-
individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I
I
wonder.
wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
There's the screaming.
Shoot!
Oh, that was...
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit. Does it? The only ones who ever actually saw Justice
firsthand
were
was Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As
Oh,
he
shut-
said,
look at me, little
only
bitch,
Celeste
right?
and
Be like, what the
Hifumi
fuck?
ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
She doesn't know what it says.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she
Look
said?
at that. So much shit.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
What was that? There it is.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up. Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on
That's
top
right.
of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I was not expecting this.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it. But looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Yep. You must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all gonna die here. We're all gonna die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Well, she
Then
didn't
pay
see Taka
attention.
die.
Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around.
Let's use the bathroom.
They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. Shoot!
You're shooting, dude.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Alright. I didn't fucking listen to the whole thing. Yeah, I got it.
All I said
So
was,
that's the thing, that's what I've done it before. I just need to make sure I fucking actually play the whole
Just like
the whole thing. So usually someone says something at the end or the very start that I have to pick up on and then shoot like the obvious one.
That's
I always
right.
fuck that up.
There's
I'm
no
sure I know how.
reason
I
Celeste
got
should
an
have
IQ of
said,
like 10 probably.
just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Explanations. Oh, there's other explanations, alright. It wasn't a picture of the subject. Oh, way. Possibilities. Hifumi and the suspect dancing.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away.
Hifumi away.
I would say it's a picture of
Picture
Hifumi
of
dragging
Hifumi.
the suspect away.
Perfect. I might actually turn the lights in here because I think it's kind of making too much light sensitivity at the moment. I'm like heavy. Oh, stretch. Oh my god. God damn. Oh, I'm just getting tired. Like when I started the stream, I was really like, oh yeah, I feel good. You know, I feel good. Because it was like it was like 11:15. I was like, I'm keen for, or a little after, I think it's like 11:30. I was really keen to just play it, and I still am. Still like I'm just. But then I got on, so I played. And 20 minutes in, I'm fucking exhausted. But I still was gonna finish this case, so I have to do it.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the
Also.
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth.
Sorry, my
and
comments
allow
will
me
be
to
pretty slow.
educate
I'm
you.
actually generally tired. I might even snooze. What do you reckon? I have a little snooze just to close my eyes. I think she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragged away. The suspect. But is that really possible?
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous.
As you can see in the picture, the suspect.
If the person inside the suit was, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong. Doesn't sound straight.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Yeah, I'm just on my eyes shut, guys. I'm just
Because
like,
that
I'm generally
Robo-Justice
asleep on
suit
stream.
had a certain
What do you reckon?
characteristic.
At least keep me going a bit. Alright. The waist.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
She a bit of an ultimate gamer, ultimate live.
What Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's what I remember. Yasuhiro.
When we
The last
asked him
name is Hiro.
who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Right! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we
Yeah,
sure
why was he
was
just trying to
really
line
pointing
there?
the finger
That's
at
just-
Hiro?
Like, what I'm saying, like, his fucking
The hell are
IQ
you
went down,
talking
like,
about?
it was
I'll
already, like,
burn you alive.
low, but it went down, like,
Kyoko.
triple.
What do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
I got it! That's right! Our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just
She
say?
didn't like that.
To think you take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit. Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather. Yasuhiro is a loser's name. Do I look like a loser to you? Well,
Now you do.
do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide,
Wide open.
Listen up! My real
She's so good.
name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Best crash out in Danganronpa, one of the best. There's something to make this.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no
Way to contradict me.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, we'll get away. We'll get away the contradiction, mate.
That's it. The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before. So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again. From the beginning.
From the beginning.
And shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Closing arguments. I like doing these. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Bam. They team up. Almost there, though. That's... I don't know. I'm missing this one. Well, 1 o'clock. So yeah, Fermi, percentage up, his Sarah comes in, it's 1 o'clock. Gets fucked up. Which one shot 6? Gets killed. This one. Really that. Wait, what's this one? Justice Hammer. Oh, Justice Hammer 2 would be.
The killer is you!
Well, we'll see if I'm right.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Fucking knew it. Alright, so it's time there. Yeah, I think I fucked that up this time.
Here's exactly what happened.
There we go, there we go.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room.
This will be Act 2. This is the act moving over the page.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims.
Oh, this is wrong.
To solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi. With these two incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3
Don't know why it turns into a magic
and
gun.
turned the room into a crime scene. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office, and once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Celeste.
Celeste!
Definitely not
Sorry,
obvious.
you lose.
Most obvious case ever. As soon as she started directing people around, I was like, oh my god. As soon as he saw her, it's like, I'm hitting the head. Oh
Lost?
no.
When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I,
Now we are.
Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
There we go. Ace. I'll see, yeah. That's the bullet time thing. Everything's fine. I just fucking suck at the bullet time. Still got an A overall though, so. 124 coins as well. Not bad.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please look, and when the votes are tallied, will you make the right...
There are the 3-1 toys. Alright. Now she talks like this now. Celeste. Instead of talking like this, she talks like this. American.
What?
It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The black in this time, the true killer who deceived the whole stinking, who devised the whole stinking scheme, was Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations. So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty of lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get to him to agree. Then, did you use, you know? I knew you'd figured it out, Kyoko. No, you're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used her. For anyone who's still left, I'd avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing that Hifumi and Taka would both super into. Does she mean? She told my alter ego.
Say what?
What? What was that? What are you talking about? Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop, as usual. How sad. Then you're the one that stole it? That's right.
See.
And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with? Right again? Last night, after we had our meeting about how it's disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here? Well, someone I could talk to alone. Oh, someone I could talk to alone. Is it about what was stolen? I know he did. What?
Are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it. What?
So then...
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? So then I found out he used digital camera. Taka's room early. I deleted the pictures as soon as I'd shown it to him, of course. It was him! I knew he did do it. He did supposed to yell at me even if I was to get close to her. Yeah, you are correct. Which is why Taka forced me to steal it. What?
As for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me. He
as
did?
for me...
He came to my room last night unannounced and then it's hard for me to even stay. He abused me. What? And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice. That's a crime. An absolute crime. I mean, I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but never imagined it would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I never said before in my life. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna fucking kill him.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please. If you go now, you'd be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually...
Taka's planning to use her to escape, and he has made you his target. Escape? You don't mean? Taka's going to try and kill you. What? And also, so he can keep her to himself. That bastard! Bastard!
Honestly.
Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not. How could I? She.
I swear, I will save her.
Actually...
Then, would you like to join me? It just happens I have to come up with a plan. Huh? I devised a way of reclaim what was stolen and escape this dreadful school. With that, it is complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that I had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation? Yeah. It was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he would make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place. So why did you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry. But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, when someone showed up, I told him to say he'd be seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death. But he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course. That wasn't all part of it. All there was to it. As I explained to Hifumi, that plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
So in the end,
so he had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself. How can human life mean so little to you? That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Mean.
Now you sound like Byakuya.
About that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike. Then, what made you take things this far? Was it really just for money? I talk about the $10 million Monokuma offered us. That is a lot of money, it's true. That's not all there is to it. From the moment a new life here began, my only thought has been escape. But all along you've been saying how we have to accept living here. Obviously, that was a lie. Oh, you little bitch. I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little bitch.
I wanted to get out of here. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why, huh? Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever. And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing. And it was all for that dream. And what was this dream of yours?
Wonderful?
To live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers / bodyguards. I was going to make them dress like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence. Living the rest of my life, there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
to be done.
Unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I? You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it? I asked me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing. That's all there is to it. That's all there is for me. That's all there is to it. That is all is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't that terrifying? How different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding. That's what we should be saying. That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why are you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then I think I'd like to come back as Marie Antoinette. And get executed. And you'll just get executed again. So I smiled, and then when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own emotions, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Chills!
You're all done. Okay then, let's get rolling. The black end disturbed the peace and must pay the price.
I prepared a
very special punishment for her, the ultimate gambler.
Everything we've got. It's punishment time.
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Fasali's, burning the Fasali's witch. Oh, help's on the way. Fire truck. Thank God, dude, to put out the fire, hopefully. Oh, wait. Yeah, she done after that. Good on you, Monokuma. It's over. The third execution's over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friend, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too, and for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? Someone can cut free from their own regrets from the outside world, and so many people have to die. You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your own lives. Jeez, and there I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation. What do I care about hope? I'll throw in the trash. You just let me out of here. You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that's the reality. Just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want us? What do you want from us? What do you want from us? God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So, anyways, Kyoko, did I see you got some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey!
So, what's to do with that?
What?
Well, what's
So
the matter?
then-
I'll answer your question if you answer mine. What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
Oh, well, what? Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh, how
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? We also did someone to Kiriko's body? What's that mean? Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here. Meanwhile, you guys can go on and enjoy your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later.
Boo-hoo-hoo. See ya. Monica disappeared, leaving us all desperate, depressed, and in despair. Well, there wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko, Monica already mentioned it, but what's that key that Celeste gave you? Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers. What? That means Celeste probably hid it in there. I suppose sometimes it's easier to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check. Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said, I'm going to go on alone from here. Then let us head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later. Why exactly are you going to do alone? Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance cameras.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us. Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
Well
Then it's up to you now. I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay? So Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together? Does that mean what I think it means? Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. I'm trying to forget what Hina said, but everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko.
Shall we go?
Yeah.
So then,
We need to get to the locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. And as the locker swung open, we saw...
You really came!
Good morning! It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word, and I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon, maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a little longer. So now, can we officially say the case is closed? As far as the incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second? Since we have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what are you trying to do all on your own here at the school? Is that why you wanted to come here with me? Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know. That just makes me even more worried. Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time. You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that, it's only natural that you think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you. You believe in me? Isn't it always people believe in their friends? Right? That's why I wanted to tell you that. That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
True.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then,
That's fine.
Fine. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kyoko well, frankly, it's kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believed in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own 2 eyes, so I waited for the nightmares to come. And when it did, I went to action. It was nuts time to come.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. In the storage closet there, way in the back. She said it was way in the back in the boys' storage closet, but would Kyoko really be right about this? Just a normal storage closet, as far as I can tell. See, Kyoko told me about. Could it really be hidden here? She said it was way in the back of the storage closet. But I mean, seriously, without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet, and suddenly, as if I was being yanked in. Gah! At the same time as I heard that sound, I fell through the walls. I had no idea what was going on. But had fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? It turned out the back wall was like a revolving door, and I'd made my way to the other side, just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor, there's a storage closet, and way in the back of the closet door, there's a secret room. So this is the secret room, but what's in here? Just a normal desk with there's a bunch of files and what looks like volume after volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of this bookshelf caught my eye. Hogsby Academy Student Registry. This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Someone's been looking at it recently. I slipped the file into my hand, but before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out of the file and I turned my attention to it. You must not leave. What's this? You must not leave? That's kind of weird. I can understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave. What is this? My head feels funny. Strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? A strange sound ran out through my head. Felt like I was shaking my brain back and forth. And then darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it's been. Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. the dull, throbbing pain in my head proving that much at least. An empty bookshelf. Empty? Gone? It's all gone? The yearbook, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? But my brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. I can't read sometimes. God damn. For now, I should go back to my room. Get some rest. That registry would have probably revealed some good stuff. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back towards my room. Somehow, I made it back to the first floor of the school. Ugh. The more I walked, the more I felt. Things are getting blurry, can't see in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that... Huh? As if from a vast distance, I heard a sound. It was faint, but undeniable. That sound. It came from the gym. As I desperately hold my shaky frame towards the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? I can't be nothing here at the gym. I didn't make a sound as I opened the doors to the gym. The sound coming from inside me while only intensified that much more. For me, their rage of battle beyond anything humanly possible. No one side's not human, that's for sure, but... one side's not human, that's for sure, but... Regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I forgot to move or even breathe.
What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? And could it be? The master of spies? Sakura. A next generation legend, stand tall, galactic hero. The end. There you go. 7 left to be continued. Hero Justice present. Yay! Certainly dirtly. Alright. We're going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It has been a pleasure. Fuck this mouse. There we go. Yeah, I'm exhausted though. I'm fucking tired. I was about to sleep halfway through that stream. Not gonna lie. But it was fun. I'm just gonna get out of this game quickly. There we go. Oh my god. I'm so tired. Well, guys, I got flashbang as well. Fuck. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to bed. I'm going to go sleep. It is almost 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll definitely be playing some more Danganronpa soon. I'm not sure when. Maybe tomorrow. Either tomorrow night or during the day. We'll see how I'm feeling. But definitely we'll be playing some more soon. Because I do want to get the game finished. And because really, I do really want to play the second game. Because it's my favourite. So we'll do that. Anyway. Catch you later.